How's it going, Talk Forest TV? My name is Jack, and welcome to my preview for Nottingham Forest versus Everton, which is taking place at the City Ground on Sunday. So this is one of those games where you look at it and you say, if we're serious about staying up, if we're serious about wanting to be in this division next season, this is a game that we have to win. Given the fact of what happened on Saturday, you look at this one and you say, right, we need to win this. Everton currently sat top of the relegation zone. We're 4 points ahead of them, so it's still in our hands as it stands. You know, it's still within our hands. We're not kind of saying, oh, if we win and these lose, or if we get a better result than these. It's just, as things stand, if it was the last game of the season right now, we'd be safe. Okay? But we need to keep pressing forward and keep adding to the points tally we have. And the best chance we have to do that is by winning home games. Our away form is nothing but abysmal. Just touching on that game, I didn't get to do a review on it, so I'll talk about it quickly now. That game against West Ham, oh my goodness. First 60, 65 minutes, it was a kind of a game where it was like neither side were really taking authority. You know, neither side really had too many clear-cut chances that you look at and you think that's one where you should be scoring or anything like that. You know, it was quite an even game between two teams that were in and around the relegation fight, you know. But then we took off John Joe Shelby, brought on Andre Ayew, and it changed the whole complexion of the game. Cooper probably brought them on thinking it'll give us a bit more attacking impetus and it'll change the game for us. You know, we'll be able to be a bit more on the front foot with a more attacking player. But we just crumbled. And there's that sort of substitution that goes around, sort of a little bit of a joke in the Forest community. You look back at, I'm not sure on the exact year of it. I think it might have been 2019, Christmas 2019, I think, Boxing Day. We were 3-1 up against Norwich, and we threw it away. I think it either finished 3-3 or 4-3 to Norwich, where we took off Matty Cash and brought on Gil Diaz. 3-1 up, and it's very similar to that in terms of this one. Taking off John Joe Shelby, bringing on Andre Ayew, and then Danny Ings scores 2 in a minute, or 2 in 2 minutes, and then that turns into 4 goals in 15. I think Ben Rama and Declan Rice got on the score sheet as well as Danny Ings, and you know, it's so weird to me. I don't have a logical explanation as to why we are so good at home and how we were managed to play so well and defend so strongly against City at home and absolutely put in an absolutely brilliant performance. And then we then go to the London Stadium and we concede 4 in the space of 15 minutes and completely capitulate. Like, it doesn't make sense. You know, there's games where it's happened before. I think Arsenal away was a game where we conceded a couple in a quick space of time. You know, there's probably been more, but I just can't think of the top of my head. Probably City away, maybe. I can't remember. There's definitely more, but I just can't remember off the top of my head at the moment. But you look at sort of the home performances and you think, you know, Forest are going to stay up. You look at the away performances and you're thinking, oh, maybe not. I mean, in terms of away games we've got left, I mean, what have we got? Sort of United away. No, we played United away. Sorry, I was getting confused with the cup then. I think United at home. So that's probably another loss, but that's by the by. I mean, we've got Tottenham away, Liverpool away. Sort of trying to think off the top of my head quickly here. Chelsea away. So that's 3 of the top 6. We've got Crystal Palace away, final day of the season, Brentford away. You know, we've got a good number of away games to go. So if we can get the business done at home, then we should be okay. but we need to pick up our away form, even if it's just 1 or 2 more wins or 1 win and a couple of draws towards the end of the season. That could be what we're after, and that could just sort of push us over the line a little bit. But going forward, if we do stay up this season, for me, it's about staying up, and it's about staying up in whatever way we possibly can. Whether that be because we win home games 1-0 and we lose away games, but we win enough home games to counteract the losses from away games, then I'll take it. If we stay up by drawing every single game for the rest of the season 0-0 or 1-1, I don't care, as long as we stay up. However, in the coming seasons, once we become a bit more established, if we stay up this season, next season may be a similar style of season, potentially maybe one where we want a little bit more. But again, I think next season, if we do stay up, I'll be saying I want to just stay up again. But if we become a bit more of an established Premier League side, like your Crystal Palaces and I would say Southampton's, maybe Aston Villas. If you're in the Premier League a couple of seasons, you want to then start to stay up and be safe, but play like in a good way and play good football and be better away from home and one thing and another. And I think that that's when we can start to focus on that. This season is just about how we stay up. It's just about getting enough points to be over that dotted line come the end of the season. So yeah, that West Ham game wasn't great, and I think it puts this Everton game in a bit more of a important position for us. I think should we have beaten or maybe drew against West Ham, it wouldn't have been as much of a desperate win sort of game. But for this one, I think we're sort of getting ourselves drawn back into the relegation scrap a little bit more after that loss to a fellow relegation side in West Ham. That it puts a bit more emphasis on this game. Our home form is very important to us, and we're unbeaten now in I think 8 home games, which is fantastic. I mean, that is really keeping us in this division, and I think if you can get a good home record as a team fighting relegation, you should always be okay. So hopefully we can draw on that. But for this game against Everton, it kind of gives it a little bit more also a little bit more meaning, I guess you could say. It's one that would play, and in any walk of the season, we want to be winning this sort of game. We want to look at this game and think, yeah, we should be winning it. But this one, I think, it's one where we're looking at it and we think we kind of need to win it a little bit, just to kind of push ourselves out of the scrap a little bit. After that loss against West Ham, we just need to drag ourselves out a little bit, put a bit of distance back in there, and a win against an Everton side who had a bit of a manager bounce when Dyche came in, beat Arsenal at home, lost in the derby, but then beat Leeds at home, and then they've struggled in their other games after that. I think they got thumped last night by Arsenal 4-0, so they're in a position where they're desperately needing to win games, and they might look at Forest and think this is an opportunity for them to do that. Maybe if it was away from home, then it would have been a different story. But at home, I think we've got enough to get over the line to beat Everton. Sean Dyche, obviously, we know what Sean Dyche can do. He likes a very well-organised, well-judged side. Didn't really... I think it worked for a bit in the first half against Arsenal, but didn't really come to the full in that game. So I think it's one of them ones where you know what he can do, Sean Dyche, but sometimes if the players aren't doing it, they're not doing it. And I'm feeling confident for this one, It's one that I think we need to win, one that I think we should be winning. I think if we're wanting to stay in the Premier League, we need to be winning games like this. I think there's no excuse, who else we got in and around the relegation zone to come up. I mean, Leeds away will be playing that. So that's a game where we need to be winning it, but will we win it away from them? I don't know. So looking at games like this, these are ones where we might be able to kind of let an away game slip or another game slip a little bit. As long as we're beating teams like this at home, this is the bread and butter. This is the games that we need to be winning. And I feel like we can do that. I do feel like we can do that. I'm feeling confident. Everton are a side that, on their day, they can put in a really good performance, but their day doesn't come very often, and they are very poor, at the back sometimes. Even though they've got players like Connor Cody and James Stokowski, they still look very vulnerable at the back, so hopefully we can expose that a bit, try and dominate the midfield. I know against Arsenal he liked to get Onana, Idrissa Gueye and Doucouré being very physical in the middle of the park, but if we can keep them quiet, we should be okay. I'm feeling... We love a 1-0 win, but I'm feeling 2-0. I don't know why. I just feel like it might be a little bit more than that. And I think if Everton don't win this, they're in serious trouble. If they don't win this game, then they're favourites alongside Southampton for me to go down. But they're gonna be up for it. They're gonna feel that this is one where they can come and try and get 3 points from. Do I think they will? No. Do I think that they will believe they can? Probably yes. I think that they'll look at the Forest away and think, that's an opportunity for us to get 3 points against a team in and around our position. So, I think it could be one where we have to be on our game and give it 110%, but I think we'll do it. I think we'll win. I'm going to say 2-0. If I'm going to go with scorers, I'll say Johnson and I'll say Renan Lodi. Why not? They want him. They want Renan Lodi, so it'll be nice for him to score. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. I think Everton are going to, like I say, they're going to fancy themselves a little bit in this one. They're going to see it as one where they can get something from it. So they're not going to make it easy for us, but hopefully they do. Hopefully they're, they're not on their game. I think when they're on their game, Everton, like you saw against Arsenal, they can cause problems. But then when they're not on their game, they're just not. It's just so easy to play against them. So I hope it's that kind of side of Everton, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were a bit more up for it, thinking that they could get something from this game. But yeah, I'm feeling really confident for this one, even though we're on the back of a loss and quite a handedly loss. Is that the? I don't think that makes sense. Quite a bad loss. We're beaten quite handedly. I think that's what I wanted to say. It's one where we can look at it and think, look, we're back at home. Put what happened behind us. Remember where we are and go out there and do the business. And I think we'll be okay. It'll be an interesting one to see how things pan out. James Garner, will he get a start back at the City Ground? I probably expect not. But yes, it's a shame. Just touching on Garner and Spence, how they moved to the quote unquote bigger clubs than Forest, and one's been then shipped back out on loan in Jed Spence, just never really got into the side, and now he's doing quite well out in France. And then you've got James Garner, who can't get a kick for Everton. So yeah, it's a shame to see them doing that, but I think we've got players of better quality, if not the same quality, in our squad now, so we can't complain too much. But yeah, like I say, feeling confident this one. I'm going to go 2-0, like I say, Ben Johnson, Renan Lodi. Let us know in the comment section down below what you thought of the West Ham game, what you think of the game against Everton, what your thoughts are on the lineup. I usually go through the starting 11, but I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to because I went through a bit of the West Ham game. I don't want to make this video too long, and then in terms of the scoreline, goal scorers, also let us know that down below. So yeah, I think that's all I'm going to touch on today. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, subscribe to Talk Forest TV if you haven't already, and yeah, come on, you Reds.